Hey guys, it's MandaPanda, and today I am going to walk you through how to make these really adorable Lippy Lips party favors. It's one of the Shopkins Season 2 characters. And Lippy Lips comes in two colors. She comes in pink and green, and you can choose whichever color you want, whichever one you like the most. I also made another video, and I have made the churro. I'll put the video down here at the bottom, a link to it, so if you want to see that video. To make Lippy Lips, you are going to need a glue gun. Any kind will work. And googly eyes are optional. It depends if you're good at drawing and if you want to draw the eyes on, or if you want to use these really cute googly eyes that have eyelashes. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And you're gonna need some foam sheets. Now you don't need this many foam sheets. Obviously you don't need this many colors. I just bought them because they were on sale, buy one get one free, and they were $8.99 in case I wanted to make other Shopkins. But you're only gonna need 3 colors, whichever 3 if you want to do the pink or the green Lippy Lips. Here's Lippy Lips in green. And here are Lippy Lips up close. You're also going to need a tape measure, an empty roll from empty napkin roll, a black Sharpie, a pen, a paper cutter. You could use scissors if you want, but it's a lot easier to use a paper cutter, and a ruler. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the base layer, and we're going to do it in red. I'm gonna do the green Lippy Lips. So let's measure the circumference. And so this is about 5.5 inches around. So I want to make this sheet a little bit more than 5.5 inches. I'm gonna do 5.5, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give it 2 extra small lines, just in case I need that extra, so I can make it neat. And I'm just gonna cut off that really little edge. Okay, now let's put one really nice big line of glue running down the toilet paper roll. And put it on, there we go, just lay it on there on top. And I skipped a step here and I didn't get to show you, but I just put another line of glue and I wrapped up the edges and I touched the edges, and now I just have that little lip that's not on the toilet paper, on the napkin roll, and I'm just gluing the edges together very lightly. Be careful not to burn yourself. And there you go, there's the red one, there's the red layer. Now I've done some measuring and I think that the best height for the red layer, the lipstick part, is 3 inches. So I'm going to mark here where 3 inches, because then underneath that mark is where I'm going to start my next layer. And the next layer is yellow, so it's a little center section of that tube. Now this section, I measured it out and I think that it should be about 2¼ inches. So I'm just marking where 2¼ inches is, and that would be that part up there. And then this down here is where I'm going to put the glue, or that's where I would start my next layer. So let's measure the circumference again, and it's about 6 inches. Alrighty, so let's measure this out. Again, give it about 2 extra tick marks just in case you need it to meet down at the bottom. So I'm going to make this 6 inches plus 2 tick marks. Just a little bit extra so that way the ends meet. And I'm going to cut this off with the paper cutter. Right. Let's press down hard. There you go. Alright. So now it's time to go ahead and glue this on to the roll. And again, this is going to be right underneath the 3-inch section that we marked off earlier. And we're going to put it on just like we did the red layer. And layering it like this just gives it that really cool, neat look, just like the Shopkins. It gives it texture, it gives it dimension, it gives it depth, and it's just really neat. So let's get this, finish getting this yellow layer on. And this is the part where I accidentally skipped this over on the red layer, but here we go. So see, it just meets up in the middle at the edge, and you're just going to put down another line of glue and touch the edges. So now we have the second yellow layer fully wrapped around the red. It's coming along. And this little section is where we're going to start adding the next layer. Alright, so the next layer is green, and so here's Lippy Lips. You saw she has 2 layers, a small one that has hearts on it, and then the big base layer. Again, I've done some measuring ahead of time, and the big base layer where her face is, that should be 3 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sheet of green, and I'm going to measure 3 inches, so that way it's 3 inches high. Alright, and there's 3 inches. And then the next layer, the layer with the little hearts, I measured that out, and I think that it looks really good when it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm going to give it another 1/2 inch on that little section, so it's going to be 1 inch and 1/4. So that way I get some extra little lip there to glue the bottom portion. So you'll kind of see. So here's the first one. So this green section, I want it to be, again, 3¼ inches. And we're measuring here. It needs to be 6½ inches long. So measure it out, again, 6½ inches, and then give it 2 tick marks just so that you can make sure that your ends meet correctly. I'm just going to use scissors here since it's so small. I'm not going to use the paper cutter. Alright, so here's where we're going to start it. And let's get it on. Alright, so there goes the first layer of green. I want it to be 3/4 inch wide. So let's kind of tick off here where 3/4 inch is. And then underneath it is where we're going to put our last and final layer. Okay, so there it is. Measure the circumference so we know how long to make it, and it's about 7 inches. So we're going to measure that last piece of green and make it 7 inches long. But remember, when you're measuring it, it's going to be 7 inches, and then give it 2 tick marks extra so that your ends meet perfectly. And again, this is 3 inches tall. And let's get it on, just like we did with all the other layers. And since this layer doesn't get to touch the red, since we have so many layers, I actually glued it all around, so not just at the edges, all around, because I didn't want it to pop off. And it overlapped a little bit, but that's okay. Alright, super cool. So now I'm going to glue on a bottom, and be very, very, very generous with glue down here. And pop it onto the bottom, let it dry, and then cut out the bottom. And it's really coming along. Next, we are going to work on Lippy's arms. Now here's just a piece that I had left over where we put the base on her. And I'm just kind of thinking, I'm just eyeballing it, and I just cut a generous little piece, and I'm going to cut it in half, and that's going to be her 2 arms. And it's not, it looks, maybe it looks difficult, but I promise you it's not. All we're doing is we're just making little rectangles, and then we're just gonna round out the edges on one side to make little arms. So here's her first arm. And her second. So there we go, 2 arms. They're a bit long. I'm gonna cut them down. So I cut them down to 2 inches, I think. So let's see, let's measure it for you guys real quick. Yeah, okay, so these arms are about 2 inches long, in case you want to know. And I'm gonna just kind of eyeball it here. I want the arms to kind of flap out a little, like she's, you know, actually has movable arms. So that looks about good to me. And so I'm just gonna make an indentation with my nail. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just cutting very, very light marks into the foam with the paper cutter. I'm not cutting all the way through, just about halfway through, so that way I get these really cool bendy flaps. And her arms are movable now. And we are going to go ahead and glue the arms on Lippy. Alright, we're just, again, eyeballing here, whatever you think's a good height. Be careful not to burn yourself. And arm number 2. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is work on those little hearts. And again, that little section where the hearts is going to go is 3/4 of an inch high. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring out a section of the green foam that is 3/4 of an inch high. So that way I know that I do not make any hearts larger than that little section. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut out little tiny squares. And I'm going to draw the heart directly on the square. And then we'll cut them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then let's get these cut out. Alright, they're all cut out, so now let's get them glued on. The first one, make sure you get it right in the center, and then the other 2 you just put on the one on the left and one on the right. Alright. Now this is what I think is the hardest part for me. We're trying to get this slant in the lipstick section of Lippy. So here's what I've kind of figured out. Just kind of press it in like that, and you see we're starting to get that little slant, more or less. Grab your pen and just kind of draw in a U shape where that little indentation is. And that's like marks it out for you, and we're going to cut out this U. And then we're going to round out the edges. And I wanted to make it a little steeper, so I cut out a little bit more. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Making it even on both sides. There we go. And there you have it, the lipstick top. Now, we're almost done. So here are the lips, and this is just a little section that you cut out from the top of the lipstick part. We're going to use that to make Lippy's mouth. And I'm just going to freehand it here. Again, there's no right or wrong. You guys draw it however you want, and I'm sure it's going to look great. So we're just going to draw her a little mouth, and we are going to cut it out. I don't really like it here, and that's okay. I can just fix it. There we go. And then we'll cut out her mouth. Well, let me see. Let me kind of just put it on her. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. I like that. And let's cut it out. And we'll glue it on. And make sure that you put the pen marks to the back, so that way you cannot see them. There you go. Careful not to burn yourself. Okay, so now we're going to do Lippy's eyes. And so she just has like a really easy to draw squinty eye that you can do with the Sharpie. Now if you're scared of doing the Sharpie, you can do that little googly eyes. They wouldn't look too bad. You can always put the googly eyes there. But what I'm going to try and freehand it. So, oh gosh, I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to put 2 dots, and the 2 dots are going to be where I start the eyes. And they're kind of close together. So again, just eyeballing it here. There we go. And we're just going to draw little arches, nothing too difficult. There we go. And second eye. She has one little eyelash in the corner, and we'll draw that one on. And this one. And this is, I mean, could this be any cuter? Could it be any cuter? And okay, this last part is completely optional. You see Lippy has like a makeup brush or something in her hand, and we're gonna make that. Now I just used some leftover yellow that we had from when we made the little yellow section. Again, just completely eyeballing here, getting like a little strip of yellow, and we're gonna turn that into the little makeup brush wand thing that she has in her hand. That's a little too tall, so we're just gonna cut off a section. Again, just eyeballing, guys. There you go. That looks good. Now I'm gonna cut out little sections of the bottom because I want to make it that thin wand that goes into the brush. So here's the first little section I'm cutting out the side. I'm going about halfway up. And then the same thing to the other side, about halfway up, cutting away about a quarter of it on both sides. See, that kind of looks like SpongeBob's spatula, right? And now we're going to put the bristles in. Now be careful here, do it slowly because you don't want to cut any of the foam off. We just want to make little tiny cuts in it to make it look like a bristle, give it some depth. And I think I can squeeze one more. And there we go. And how cute is that? So now you have the makeup brush and everything. And we're just gonna glue it in her hand. Again, careful not to burn yourself. We're all done, guys. Thanks for watching. I know it's a lot of steps, but we got it done. Lippy Lips comes in pink and green. I've already made it in pink ahead of time so I can show you. Here's both of them. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can get updates on all my new videos. And leave me some comments below and let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. And make sure you check out the churro video so you can make some churro party favors. Again, thanks for watching.